Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing this Milkmaid dress that you can see on your screen. So I'll first of all draft on my pattern before transferring to my fabric. The first thing I'll do is to start taking my points. The first point is the distance from my shoulder to my bust point, which is 10 inches. The next point is the distance from my shoulder to my under bust point, which is 13 inches. The last point is the distance from my shoulder to my waist point, which is 16 inches. I'm going to add extra half an inch to that measurement for my joining allowance. After doing that, I'll rule straight lines across all these points. The next thing I'll do is to take half of my shoulder measurement. Half of my shoulder measurement is 8 inches. So I'll place my tape and I'll mark 8 inches. On that 8 inches mark, I'll go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll slant from there into the neckline area. After taking my shoulder slope, the next thing I'll do is to go down by my armhole depth. The armhole depth I'm working with is 7.5 inches. To get your armhole depth, you can divide your bust circumference by 6 and you add 1 inch to whatever you get. So mine is 7.5 inches. So I went down from the shoulder slope by 7.5 inches and I ruled a straight line across that point. So this new line is going to serve as my chest line. On that chest line, I placed the same 8 inches that I have on the shoulder line. I placed it there and then I connected the two dots into a straight line. The next thing I'm doing is marking the middle of this straight line. So I folded my tape into two to get the center. On that center, I'm going to go in by half an inch and I will indicate the half an inch with a dot. On the chest line, which is the new line I just ruled, I'm going to place my bust circumference divided by 4. I will indicate that with a dot. Next thing I'll do now is to connect from the shoulder slope to the half an inch and from there to the dot that I have on the chest line like this. After doing that, I'll be taking half of my bust band measurement, which is 4 inches. So I'll take the 4 inches on the waistline, I'll take the 4 inches on the under bust line, and I'll take the same 4 inches on the bust line. After doing that, I'll connect the 3 dots into a straight line. So go ahead and label your lines. The first line is the chest line, the second one is the bust line, the third one is the under bust, while the last one is the waistline. So I connected the 3 dots into a straight line. After doing that, I'll be taking half an inch on both sides of the straight line and I'll connect it back to the bust line just like you see me doing. So after doing that, I'm going to go up on the under bust line. So label your line so you know where the under bust line is. I'll go up by 1 inch on the under bust line and I'll connect it back to the dart leg using this part of my roller. So if you don't have a curved roller, you can use your free hand to create a little curve just like you see me doing. After connecting, you're going to measure the distance from the center of your dress, that's the center front, to the dart leg. What I have is 4 inches. So you can place your tape like this on the side front and you go out by 4 inches. But if you are busty and you want your cup to be really big, you can just connect it to where you placed your bust circumference divided by 4. So that is where my armhole stopped right now. So I'm going to just connect from that point, okay, down to the under bust point, okay. But if you're not busty, you can just go out by whatever it is you have on the center front, from the center front to the dart leg, okay. So after connecting, I went ahead to also connect on the chest line. I'm just connecting it back to the armhole, okay. So now that I'm done connecting, we have the cup. So the next thing I'll do now is to start placing my measurements. I already have my bust circumference divided by 4 on the chest line. So what I'm doing is adding 1.5 inches as my stitching allowance. On the under bust line, I'll place my under bust circumference divided by 4. I'll replace the dart and then I'll add 1.5 inches for my stitching allowance. On the waistline, I'll place my waist circumference divided by 4. I'll replace the dart. After replacing the dart, I'll add 1.5 inches as my stitching allowance. So once I'm through with that, I'm going to connect the dots together. After connecting, I'll also connect the main lines together, okay. So this is my 1.5 inches stitching allowance right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, okay. So I'll cut through the stitching allowance area, then down to the cup area, okay. So I'm not cutting out the cup yet because I want to use this pattern to cut out the back pattern. So what I'll do is to bring a fresh pattern paper, and I'm going to place this particular one on it. But before I do that, I'm going to be marking out my zipper allowance because there is a zipper at the back of the dress. My zipper allowance is going to be 1.5 inches, so I'm going to mark 1.5 inches all the way to the end, and I'll connect the dots into a straight line. After doing that, I'm going to place my pattern paper now after the zipper allowance, and I'm going to use my pins to hold it down. So what you do now is to trace out all the lines that you have on the front pattern. As you can see me doing, I traced out the stitching allowance and where the center back is going to start from. After doing that, I'll remove the pattern paper and I'll go ahead and outline all the lines that I have here. So the next thing you do now is to determine how deep you want the back neckline to be. As you can see on the thumbnail, the back is really deep, so just go ahead and do what you like. For me, I'll go down by 2 inches. That is how deep I want the back neckline to be, and I'll connect it back to the stitching allowance, as you can see. So this is the opening of my back, and I'll extend it down to the zipper allowance. Okay, so after doing that, this is what I have. The next thing I'll do now is to take in my darts. So you transfer the darts that you have on the front pattern paper to the back. So my nipple to nipple measurement that I took out earlier was 4 inches, so I'm marking the 4 inches. After doing that, I'll connect the dots into a straight line like this, and then I'm going to take half an inch on both sides, half an inch to the left and half an inch to the right, and I'll connect it upward. So the dart for the back is going to go all the way up. Okay, so I'm just going to connect like this. After doing that, guys, I'm going to adjust the zipper area. I have 1.5 inches as my stitching allowance, as my zipper allowance. I'll take out half an inch from the waist area and I'll connect it back to the neckline area. As you can see, this is to eliminate zipper bulge. Okay, so after doing that, I'll go ahead and cut. So that is all for the back pattern. So go ahead and proceed with the front pattern. Now that we have used the front pattern to cut out the back, it's time to cut out the cup area. I'm going to cut it out like this. So I'll not be needing the dart for the front. So what I'll do is to close up the dart. So instead of cutting and then using my masking tape to hold it down, I decided to just fold it just like you see me doing. Okay, that way I've closed up my dart. There won't be need for me to take in my dart when I'm sewing anymore. So that is that for this part of the pattern paper. So we're going to be working with the cup now. For the cup, I want to do a slash and spread method. So what I'll do is to place my tape and I'll mark 1 inch apart. Okay, so I'll mark 1 inch. I'll indicate the 1 inch. From that 1 inch, I'll mark another 1 inch. So I'll keep marking 1 inch till I get to the end of the cup. So once I get to the end of the cup, I'm going to extend the 1 inch now into a straight line just like you see me doing. So just go ahead and mark, and then you're going to rule straight lines. Next thing I'll do now is to number the lines. Okay, so I have from number 1 to number 8, and then I'm going to slash through all these lines as you can see me doing. So after slashing, we'll be spreading everything that we have here just to make the cup really full. So I'll bring in another pattern paper, and I'm going to be spreading all of this on this new pattern paper. So what I'll do is to take number 1, and I'm going to use my masking tape to hold number 1 down. After doing that, I'll start spreading. So you're going to determine how wide you want your spreading to be. You can do 1.5 inches, you can do 2 inches, you can do 3 inches, depending on how busty you are and how full you want that area of the cup to be. For me, I'm spreading by 1.5 inches. So from number 1, I went out by 1.5 inches and I placed number 2. So from number 2, I'll go out by another 1.5 inches. I'll place number 3. From number 3, I'll go out by 1.5 inches and I'll place number 4. So I'll keep doing that till I get to number 8. So you can go ahead and determine how full you want the cup area to be, and you spread it by the inches you want it to be. Okay, so I'll continue doing that till I spread all the pattern papers that I have. So you can use your pins to hold them down, sorry. So I'll keep placing them and spreading them by 1.5 inches till I get to number 8. So guys, after spreading everything, this is what I have. So the next thing I'll do now is to use my pencil to mark out the same shape that I have. So following the pattern paper, I'm marking out the shape that I already have. Okay, so I'll mark on the upper part, I'll mark on the base all the way like this. Okay, after doing that, I'll go ahead and cut out the excess pattern paper. I'm done cutting, guys. This is what we have for the cup. You can see that is way bigger than the previous cup. So this is what we are going to be gathering to fit into this other part of the cup area. And yeah, that is all for the pattern drafting tutorial. I'll see you guys in the sewing tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your questions in the comments.